Founded in 1947, Aid to the Church in Need brings spiritual and material aid to millions of persecuted people of faith. An important part of their mission is spreading awareness and understanding of religious persecution as it happens around the world with their Religious Freedom Report.
We do it every 2 years, and we do this report to cover the many countries that we do work in. So this report is 196 countries, and we do work in well over 100 of them every year. So we have firsthand knowledge of what it's like to live there, and it's important to remember to tell their story.
More than half of the 196 countries studied had at least some restriction on religious freedom. 20 countries had a high level of religious intolerance, and many more countries are getting worse than improving.
Well, first and foremost at this time is Syria and Iraq. And some of those neighboring countries which are on the fringe of the ISIS problem, of the Muslim extremists, they are very hot. But also in places like Africa and Nigeria, where you have Boko Haram attacking churches and burning them down, or attacking people. The Central African Republic, they have engaged in this military attacks on Christian populations, and actually have forced more than 1 million people to flee their homes. And then there is, the governmental persecution of totalitarian regimes like in China and some of the other countries where they're allowed to worship or not allowed to worship, or you're arrested just because the government disagrees with what you say or might believe in.
In the most dangerous regions, faith inspires great courage among the persecuted and those who try to help them.
I mean, are your people in harm's way a lot of times?
Absolutely, yes. There are people that work in the church who regularly put their lives on the line. The nuns that I met who worked in Rwanda, the same thing. They were attacked often, and yet they stayed. They remained behind with their people because truly when they take the vow to the church to serve the people, those are their family. And you really, mothers and fathers generally don't abandon their children. People know there's something not right. They know that there's something better. There has to be. And that hunger for the truth, that hunger for freedom, doesn't die even with oppression, even with violence. Jesus died on the cross. He died for us. And he said that we have to take up our cross. And maybe to some people it sounds strange, but we have to accept the suffering. And we have to feel blessed that we have been given the task of accepting this suffering and do with it something that is good.
Reporting for Currents, I'm Konrad Aderer.